I don't like America. I want a revolution. I want to. No, you do not want a revolution. And the fact that you're saying you want one tells me you do not understand revolution. Like, revolution is one of the most terrifying things you can experience, and that's if you're lucky enough to live through it. It doesn't matter if it's a military coup or.
Hey, my name is CJ and I'm finna cook you. As a well-trained black radical, I will tell you that you don't know what revolution is. This is why I ultimately despise white liberals, because you all will try to masquerade that you actually care about marginalized lives and you actually care about the things in our society and making our society better, but you all don't. You all do lip service for the status quo without even knowing it. As a black radical, I know the risks that come with a revolution, but I'll pose this point to you. Whatever violence that will occur during a revolution will never ever come to the violence that the status quo does on a daily and yearly basis to the people of the global south and domestically. The status quo and the colonial empire that it is the United States is already stripping the autonomy and the lives of black and brown people all across the world and domestically. So as I've said, I already know the casualties that will come with a revolution or any type of act of revolution. This is prevalent throughout black history. This is because my ancestors led more than 300 slave insurrections and rebellions against their slave owners and the plantation class in the South. So were you going to tell these slaves and were you going to tell people like Nat Turner that Nat Turner should not revolt and rebel against his slave masters because casualties may occur? No, this is because the people are so distressed with their material conditions that they will rather have the possibility of dying and see the greater mission of black liberation. This is what my ancestors saw, and this is what we see today as black radicals. We acknowledge the inherent risk of being revolutionaries and the acknowledgement that we may never see actual black liberation in our lifetimes, and we probably will be alive fighting for it. This is where I'll bring up a speech by Dr. Martin Luther King called "I've Been to the Mountaintop." What makes his speech eerily ironic and just crazy is that Dr. King literally gave his speech the day before he was unalived by the FBI. He says that he's seen the mountaintop and seen the promised land, and he knows that he may not get there with black people to see black liberation, but he understands the greater goal and the greater mission, which is black liberation. Pause and read. So can you please stop projecting your own lack of knowing history and just your lack of courage when it comes to resistance work and resistance fighting against the empire? Like I said before, I know revolution is uncomfortable, but the conditions that we have right now are externally more uncomfortable than anything that we will see under a revolution. This is the issue and the problem. You all believe that revolution is just a time step within history, while in all actuality, revolution is a long, drawn-out process that occurs over many decades, maybe even centuries. The brothers and sisters that were enslaved in Haiti knew the risk that came with rebelling against the French, but they still did it. Over 200,000 of them were unalived in the process, but they still saw the greater goal, which was freedom. This is how I know you're not really tapped in with the history of black resistance and black resistance work, because if you actually knew, you understand that black people and black Americans have been resisting the conditions of racial capitalism and white supremacy since 1619, which is the year that we first stepped foot on this soil. You'll understand how many of us have been martyred and unalived by the empire for the greater goal of black liberation. The lifestyle of being a radical and a revolutionary is something that is uncomfortable inherently. It comes with a sense of courage and a sense of pride that you obviously just don't have. So can you please just say that instead of being reactionary on the internet, please?